All right, everybody, welcome back. Yo, welcome back. Thank you for joining again. This is episode 9 of the Going Out podcast, and I got my homie Adrian Nyce in here.
Yes, sir.
Let's give him a big welcome to the show.
Get the claps. That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah. We here, man. We here.
Yeah, appreciate you coming through, man. And this is a very special episode because my boy Adrian is a podcaster himself. So this is actually what I would call my first official collab podcast.
Hey,
right?
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
So for my audience that's been following me, we know that this podcast is about nightlife. But Adrian's podcast, it's about a lot of stuff that's very much adjacent to this industry, right?
And I can tell you about nightlife too.
Exactly.
But go
I want to
ahead.
talk about all that. You know what I mean? But you know, I checked out your podcast, bro.
Yeah.
I like it. I love it.
Appreciate it.
Music industry, celebs, influencers,
Yeah.
all that. So, you know what I mean? So just to get started, maybe for my podcast, maybe just give like a little bit more in-depth explanation of your podcast,
Yeah.
and what sort of inspired you to start it, and what it's all about.
So, again, like he said, my name's Adrian Nyce, and that's Nice with a Y, not an I. So Nyce, Nice. I got a podcast called Mouthin Out, the Malvin Out podcast. And yes, a music podcast. We interview people in the entertainment industry, mostly artists, hip hop artists, but we also interview like executives from labels, A&Rs, influencers, and it's open to other people from all walks of life too. Anybody with a good story, but that tends to be who we interview. I started it in 2020, and I basically just wanted. It started out because I wanted a show. Like I had been doing film all my life, and you know I've been directing, producing, some editing, whatever. But that was behind the scenes.
Right.
So now this gave me an opportunity to be in front of the camera. So this was kind of like a show that basically was my personality just out in the open.
Okay.
Because I hadn't had an opportunity to be like, you know, to show
Right.
it off or whatever the case may be.
Right. So you said be doing like film and stuff your whole life. How old are you now?
How old do I look?
I would say I'll give you like 29, maybe 29, 30.
Okay. So I'm 32. 32.
Okay, bet.
32, birthday in February, born 1992. So I got like 10 years of film experience, 9 years, something like that. Went to film school, got a film degree, started out doing music videos on my cell phone. That's when it was like iPhone 4 or something.
Yeah. iPhone 4 was really like the first nice iPhone.
Right.
I think that's the first one that had the FaceTime.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
That shit was lit.
I got my hands on one of them. I was like, oh, it's over. But yeah, man. Yeah, music videos, film school, films, commercials, all that.
Okay. So when did you start the Mouthin Out podcast?
So we started that in 2020, but we had conceptualized it in 2015.
Okay.
But we didn't start shooting it because we planned it. Well, actually, we started shooting it, and it was with this comedian. He was the first host. I was still behind the scenes, but he just wasn't giving me.
Okay, keep going, bro.
He just wasn't giving me what I was wanting out of like the host. So I was like, I kept trying to explain it to him. We kept just trying to do it and everything, but it was just like not working. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't working. So I didn't get to release the episodes. I ended up running across America. That's why we didn't like release any other stuff, because I was shooting that documentary. And then, 2020, we just did it. Yeah.
I saw that. The Running Across America, man. And my bad, man. I actually didn't like give you all your credit. Like you got the podcast, you ran across America, which is dope. I want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I got time, you know what I'm saying, laid out.
Yeah, we got
to
it.
talk about that and ask about the Running
dope.
Across America. You're also an affiliate with Kick and
Kick and Twitch.
And Twitch, right?
Yep, Kick
Streaming?
and Twitch affiliate. Yep.
And then I saw something about YouTube Data Analyst too.
Yeah, YouTube Data Analyst just basically means like, I help YouTube specialists. That's what you could say. I help people with their YouTube channels. So like for you, for example, I'm assuming you got a YouTube channel. So basically I would look at the back end of it, like your analytics and everything, and help you understand what's happening.
Okay.
Because like, yes, a lot of this information is out there, but a lot of people won't take the time to go look at it. And you need to look at the chart, like everything for a long period of time to like understand it.
Okay.
And everything.
So how long is a long period of time? Like what kind of time span? If you're a YouTube channel and you really want to get some kind of good insights out of your analytics, how much time do you need?
I mean, so I think it's a matter of, so it's different factors that vary. Like it's like how much content are you pumping out? How long have you had your channel? What is your topic about? But I mean, if you give it like a good 3 months of like consistently looking at it, like you can look at your analytics and know like, okay, like the whole point of it is like we release content, you release content, and then you look at your analytics, you got a lot of views on this video. People overcomplicate it. You get a lot of views on this video. This basically is telling you, your audience is telling you, I like this type of content.
Right.
So this is telling you, you need to make more of this content. What people tend to do is they make content for themselves, which is cool, but you need to make content for your audience.
Right.
You know what they like, that's what you need to make. And then they'll keep engaging, rewarding you, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So I just help with that. Get your channel monetized, all that type of stuff. I used to work for Gary Vee, actually.
Okay, yeah, he's a man.
Helping him with his stuff. Him and his team, really.
Okay. So what kind of content does the best nowadays? I mean, is it what we all think, or like, you know, what is it really?
I mean, that's very like, you know what I'm saying? But the content that is being searched the most will always do the best. So it doesn't matter if you're, you know, making content on politics or the music industry or athletic stuff, whatever it is, you need to find out what's being searched within that niche the most and start making it. What they tend to tell people is like, find like 3 successful YouTube channels that are similar to yours. Then you go click popular, and you see which one of their videos is doing the best. And you just basically copy it, make it your own. That's how you can kind of quick and easy way.
Yeah. I definitely see your point. I feel like even across different niches though, and this is just what I've heard, because like I watch like a lot of different kinds of YouTube channels and I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I think what I mean is like, what kind of feeling does like the content kind of evoke? You know what I'm saying? Because in any kind of niche, right? Like you have shit that where people are basically like ranting on a lot of shit, so it kind of just.
Are we talking about
like
podcasting or just any type of content?
Any kind of content in general. You know what I'm saying? Like where people are just like kind of like on this like anger kind of spree. You know, other things might just be compilation kind of shit where it's just like a bunch of shit put together.
So according to YouTube, music videos do the best.
Okay.
Music videos. If we're talking about just a type of content, music videos do the best, and then vlogging content does good. Probably like those two things are the things that perform. Everything else is after, but you know, and tech stuff, tech review stuff. Those three things are killing it.
Right.
Money.
Everybody needs money, bro.
Yeah. Anything along the lines of that, you're going to get some views. But you got to build that audience still, too.
But so when you were getting started with your podcast, like what were some of like your biggest worries like when you were getting started? Did you have like any anxieties about anything that you were doing?
I have no worries, bro. I had moved back from LA. So like after I got done running across America, we filmed a documentary, and I was still in my filmmaker mindset. I was like, I'm going to go to LA. I'm going to sell this film. I'm going to just do something with it.
Right.
That shit ain't happen like that at all. But I left LA right before COVID hit, and I didn't even know COVID was coming. You know, I just left. And when I came back, I already had an idea of how I wanted it. I got this desk, and I got my homie. He graffiti spray paints. He makes murals. He spray painted my desk, and I just hit the ground running. I did maybe a lot of people don't charge for interviews or anything like that.
Right.
But I did probably 50, 75 interviews for free before I started charging, just because.
In terms of charging people to come on your podcast, you mean?
Come on my podcast. Yes, because I'm looking at it again, I have a filmmaker background, so I know I can make a valuable I can produce a valuable show. I can produce a show.
Right.
So if I'm going to produce this nice looking show where I'm bringing you on to talk about whatever, promote whatever,
Right.
I'm going to charge you because I got to edit. I got to get this guy to edit. They got to shoot, et cetera, et cetera. And you know, some people get it for free too. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on who they are. You know, depends on what it's for. But yeah, started shooting on my cell phone. I didn't have a studio when I got back. People were acting weird, like friends I had before. I was trying to connect with them, get in a studio. So I went to Camp North End.
Right.
And for those of you that know Camp North End, it's just like a creative environment. You can go. And I was just shooting outside. It was hot as fuck.
Damn, bro.
Hot as fuck. We was getting it in, hour-long episodes, had my desk, created a set out there. They had plugs. It looked official. And we was just getting it. Just getting it.
Camp North End is fucking lit. They just had that sold out dates party.
Yeah.
Did you go to that shit?
Yeah, I didn't get to go. My homie Steven, he was hosting and everything. It looked lit as fuck.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people out there.
I heard, yeah. I heard it was like 3,000 people or some shit like that at least.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's motherfucking deep, bro. That's like festival kind of vibes.
That is, and that's good though, like, cause Camp North End is so many things, bro. Like, you can bring a festival there. You can go over there and shoot a music video.
Right.
They have Mad Miles, which is a running club. They bring out 300 plus people every single
That shit is
Tuesday.
lit.
It's like,
do you run with them?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
Every Tuesday I go there, but they also have Mondays and Saturdays. But it's just so many different things. It's dope. It's dope. I love Mad Miles.
When I did my episode with Concrete, one thing I try to do is like when I, interview, not everybody, but like some like particularly like DJs, promoters and stuff like that, I try to like follow them around, to like some of their events and stuff, kind of catch them in action. Especially with like if it's like unique things. So like for instance, Concrete, I caught some footage of him at Section.
Yeah.
Kind of cutting it up, turning the party up or whatever. And then also Mad Miles.
Yeah.
So if you ever watch, if you do watch the episode with him, there's a cut in like the first quarter of the episode where kind of some scenes there are Mad Miles.
Right.
But then also he did the Pulse Experience. Right. So he DJ'd that. He was the house DJ for that. So I came there with my camera too, caught some footage.
What did you think of the event?
I liked it. Yeah. Now when I was there the second day.
The second day.
I didn't make the first day.
Okay.
I think Concrete told me there was more people there on the first day. Were you there?
So I didn't get to go. I didn't get to go because just some stuff happened. But I think I heard the same thing too. I think the first day was De Niro's day, De Niro Ferrara, and then the second day was Nick Grant's day.
Nick Grant's day, yeah.
But that's crazy though that more people were there the first day because that day was shorter, I guess. Or I guess that makes sense.
That's just what
and
I
then
heard,
the second day spread out.
Yeah, and I don't know what the weather was like. I think it was fine that day. It might have been fine that day. But it was cool, man. I liked it. Nick Grant, I fuck with his song Two Sides.
Two Sides.
I really fuck with that Two Sides song, yeah. So when I released the trailer for episode 8 with Concrete, I put that in there. I kind of made like a compilation of like
we gotta get that interview in, Nick. We gotta get that interview in.
Yeah. All right, so you want to interview interview with Nick Grant. You do a lot of artists, celebs, influencers, particularly with artists. Like how many artists have you interviewed so far?
Bruh. I can't even answer that question. I've done over 1,000 interviews.
Damn, okay.
1,000 interviews because like I said, I go to events and interview people too. So, I count those as well. So like I'll go to like South by Southwest where it's like artist Mecca and I'll come back with 200 interviews. Or something like that. So yeah, I've done over 1,000 interviews, but I have like a bucket list, and I've kind of reached almost the limit of my bucket list, knocking off everybody. The last 3 people that I need on my bucket list, 4 you could say, but 3 is the Baby, Tusi, and Tia Corinne. And I mean, you could throw J. Cole in there, but he ain't, what I'm saying, doing interviews like that.
Right. Who are some of the big dogs that you interviewed? Flex for the podcast.
Big dogs. Okay, I got Armani Caesar. I got King Carter. I got Rennie Rucci. I got Black Zach. I got Sauce Walker. I got Scarlip. I got Ruben Vincent. I got Lute. I got Chico Bean. I said Benny Siegel, right?
Nah.
Benny Siegel.
Benny Siegel?
Yep, got Benny Siegel.
OG.
And then more recently, I got this guy named Sugar Hill D-Dot.
I saw some clips of that on your Instagram.
And I will say, like, even though I have interviews that have more views than his interview, his fan base turned his shit up. Like, that's the fastest I've seen, like, views come in.
Really?
Like, he has, like, a real deal fan base. That shit's crazy. That
That's
shit
what's
kind of, it scared me kind of. I was like, what's going on? But it was dope.
So, like, when you get in touch with your artists, like, how do you select them? How do you kind of reach out to them? Like, walk us through, like, your workflow process with that.
At this point, they more so hit me up, but like for the bigger names, I email them. Like, if I like, this is for anybody that's wanting to get somebody that's like big. You have to reach out to either their label or their publicist or their booking manager.
Right.
One of those three people are going to connect you with the right person to get the interview. And even then, the artist is going to look at your platform, or whoever's going to look at your platform and be like, is it worth it or not for the artist? So you might not even get it then.
True.
But yeah, through email, I DM a lot of people. That's how I got the Gary V. That's how I started working with him. I just messaged them, are y'all looking for interns? And they offered me a job.
Right.
So, you know, I would say don't be afraid to reach out any kind of way. I reach out when I'm hitting up somebody, I want to contact them. I email them, I text them, and I IG message them and put the ball in their court.
Okay.
And then leave it up to them. Leave it up to God.
Are there any celebrities big enough where it's like, instead of, because normally you talked about, you would charge people to come on your show, but have you ever had to like pay an artist to be on your show?
No, but that is what I would like to do. Like, I would love, there's artists like those three that I named, I would definitely pay them to come on my show. But I ain't got the money.
Okay.
But if I could, that's the game. That's the game. Cause while I was in LA, I linked with a couple of high level publicists and journalists out there.
Yeah.
So they work for like some major platforms, YouTube platforms that interview tons of artists, and they're paying them. They're paying them to come on the show because they're going to get the money back. Their YouTubes are monetized. If they offer them 5 bands or whatever the case may be, they're going to make their money back. And it's just like that for YouTubers too. That's doing like the 20v1s or the whatever case may be. They pay the artist to come on because they're going to make their money back at the end of the day, off the content.
Okay.
So that's the game.
What were you doing out in LA? You were living there just going to school, or?
So I went to school in Charlotte, and then I ran across America, and then we shot a documentary. So my whole point of going out there was I was going to work this film. That's when DVDs were still a thing. I was going to just, get it to a distributor. They were going to distribute it and get it everywhere else. But if you've never been to LA is like a different monster.
Yeah. LA's fucking lit, bro.
LA is a different monster. So I went to LA and the documentary, I didn't continue to like work it and pitch it to people. It was more so just like an ace in my pocket. When people are like, because there's a dime a dozen. Everybody's a dime a dozen. So it was kind of like my separation from everybody. Okay. Like, who are you? What do you do? Et cetera, et cetera. I'll be like, whatever case may be. But I just ran across America. And that gets their attention. You know what I'm saying? But they're just experiencing the stuff like that. But I got heavy in the nightlife out there. Like, I was working for this company called Affinity Nightlife. And we were literally managing the promotion for like literally 35 different clubs per week throughout the week. Some of the top clubs at that time that were going on. So like we had the keys to the motherfucking city. Affinity. AFF. Yeah. Okay. AFF. IN the rest. You know how to spell. Affinity Nightlife. And dude who was over it, he's like this Jewish older guy. But he knew the sauce, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He knew the sauce. I still use some of his marketing tips till today, bro.
Can you name drop for the podcast?
Who the guy is? Yeah. Adam Glovsky. Adam Glovsky. Okay. Yep. He
owns the agency?
He owns the hospitality company. He owns it. He definitely pioneered some stuff. Like me and a couple of other employees, like we literally, like I've seen multiple times where a club will start, like people are wanting to launch this club. They'll come to him and he'll make that shit. Like they making like 35 bands a night in like a month. Like that's how quick the turnaround time is type shit. Yeah. It shit's crazy.
Yeah. LA is such like, a place that's ripe for that though. Like
Right.
LA, Atlanta, Miami, of course.
Because new people are coming there every day.
Yeah, and it's a turn up city. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's a destination city where niggas come and like, you know, turn up and wanna get lit, spending money, all that. But Charlotte, you know what I mean?
It's definitely different.
It's definitely different. You know what I'm saying?
I came back, I was like, okay, I might do my nightlife thing here. I was like, nah, it ain't the same.
Right.
It ain't
So
the
you
same.
said how long did you stay out in LA?
I stayed probably about 2.5 years. 2.5 years, and I might end up going back after this year or something like that. We'll see.
So you ran across America. Where'd you start at?
I started in Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Okay.
And I ended at the Hollywood Zone.
10 states. I saw
10 states.
2,500 miles.
2,500 miles.
3 months.
3 months.
Damn,
My man
bro.
does his research.
Damn, bro. So,
Yeah.
like,
20 to 30 miles a day.
elaborate. Okay, 20, 30 miles a day is pretty much a fucking marathon a day.
Somewhere in between that. Yep.
All right.
Yep,
So,
basically.
clearly, you're an avid runner.
Yeah.
Did you run track like in high school, cross country and all that?
Yeah, I ran track, super heavy in the track, and then
Mm-hmm.
my freshman year in the high school, I got into cross country. My homie who passed, he got me into cross country, and so I took it on super heavy
Okay.
and just started
Peace to the
running.
homie, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I love running. I love running. It's just, I don't know. I've always been good at it. Like ever since I was in elementary school, I was racing niggas at recess, trying to beat them, trying to be the best.
Yeah.
And I felt so good just knowing that I was the fastest in my whole grade, like whole grade and down. And even then I'm faster than the grades above me.
Damn.
So
you
it's just
did
like,
sprint events? Like
Yeah.
on track? 100
I
yard dash?
did, but it slowly, became like distance and stuff like that. So all throughout maybe like freshman year, I was doing like sprints. So like hundreds, 4x1, stuff like that. But then it turned into like 400 meters, which can be considered a sprint too. So 400, 4x4. I did pole vaulting.
Right.
And then I did 400 hurdles and stuff like
Damn.
that. And other events too, but those were my main ones.
Track is a different beast, bro. I played football pretty much middle school, high school. I didn't really do it in college or nothing like that. But when I was in high school, like all the other coaches tried to get me to do the other sports, but football was really like the only thing I ever really cared about.
Right.
Bro. So
That's
You
how
know,
I feel about track.
right. But after senior year, it was kind of like really crazy because I kind of had made peace with I probably wasn't going to play football again. So I actually did try wrestling, but I knew I didn't want to do that shit, bro. I did not want to do that shit. I did one fucking practice. At wrestling's probably the worst. Track's hard too. Wrestling is probably the fucking worst, bro. I did one practice. I was like, nah, because I knew my heart wasn't in it, bro.
Yeah.
So I gave up on that. I tried track too in high school. Now I did do it in middle school, but like we didn't really have like a real track team in middle school. It was more just like an event.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all go out there, do it.
Like
Yeah.
literally, I think we had one event where pretty much because there was 2 middle schools in my town that I grew up in. Right, I'm from New Jersey. I'm from Newark originally, but I pretty much moved to West Orange at some point, and I pretty much went to like in the elementary school, middle school, and high school there. But essentially, in middle school, we didn't really have like a real track team. But there's only 2 at the time. There was only 2 middle schools in the entire town. So basically, it was like a track program where it was just like one meet where the 2 middle schools faced off against each other. But I smoked a lot of niggas in that one event, bruh. My one track, my very, very short track career, I would say it's pretty stellar, bro, because my record is impeccable.
That's what I'm talking.
probably
He said my
like
records in fact.
3-0, all 3 of
That's
my
what I'm
events I've
talking
ever
about.
done.
Yeah, pop that shit.
But nah, I did like 100 yard dash.
Nice.
I raced against my boy Justin Worthing. If you ever see this, he's a close friend of mine. We actually played football together. But yeah, like track, that shit wasn't like some real shit. But yeah, big ups to you, but track is a.
I will say like I think and it might not like be like this for other schools or whatever the case may be, but I feel like there needs to be some type of I don't know, just something. I wish I would have went to college doing track and stuff like that. I could have, but there was nobody there who was like telling me, I don't know, how to fill out applications. That all just it might be like super simple, but that just seems, the concept seems so foreign to me for some reason and shit like that. So I hear other people talking about that too and shit like that. Cause out of my friend group, there's probably like 7 of us. 2 of us went to college. I'm the only one that graduated. Another one went and he didn't graduate or whatever.
Yeah.
But everybody else just went working and shit like that.
Where'd you go?
So I went to an art school, the Art Institute of Charlotte, for film and stuff like that.
Dope.
But I was gonna go to like Benedict, for like running and stuff like that. Cause like
Benedict's in South Carolina, right?
yeah, but I was like, why the fuck am I gonna go to this school? I don't know what I was thinking, but if I would have, I would have been fucking shit up.
Yeah.
I would have been fucking shit up. Like my last year of track, I had done 400 meters like my whole career of track. And then the final year, I was talking to a coach and we had decided like I wasn't gonna go to states if I stuck in the 400 meters just because my time wasn't, it wasn't good enough to be like in the top 10 of the state. So the last 6 months, I switched to 400 meter hurdles.
Damn.
And we went out there and I was dusting niggas.
And the hurdles be?
Yes, because everybody's scared of the hurdles.
Yeah,
Everybody's scared of the hurdles.
Scary shit. That shit looks like it has to
So
be
nobody, there's no competition, bro.
Yeah.
So I was dusting niggas. I ended up getting like fourth in the state. And like niggas who have been training their whole track career didn't get to go to state because of me.
South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. South Carolina. Just because I had switched over and knocked them out.
I got you.
Diabolical.
So film was good for you then, right? You said the art school to Charlotte?
Art Institute of Charlotte.
Art
which
school
sucks.
Art school is actually and to be honest, in this new economy, a lot of niggas need to start betting on like art schools, bro. Cause that shit has like so much value. You know what I'm saying? It's like you hear people talk about like trades and shit like that, right?
Right.
And how undervalued they are, especially now. Like a lot of people over-indexed on like professional careers. Like,
Right.
I went to school for like business and all that shit, and I mean I do okay with it. You know what I'm saying? But like art degrees and all that. Most of my friends that did go to like professional art school, all doing big shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
that's dope.
Yeah, like the creative economy is here, bro.
That's booming.
Is here. Fun fact. So I actually read a book from this guy named Richard Florida when I was in college. I went to Clark Atlanta, peeped the flag behind me. Right?
Yeah.
For undergrad. And while I was there, man, I've always been like a creative person, right? But my creativity manifests itself in like business ideas and just like shit that I want to do, right? But I got my start in nightlife. So my very first business venture was actually just street teaming with me and my friends, like very early on. But pretty much, I almost lost my train of thought, bro. But so
Art school.
Yeah, art school, going to school for business. I went to Clark Atlanta. I pretty much came out of there, did business and everything. But I think all my friends that did go to art school are all doing like lit shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they like, I think one of my homies does like film directing for like the Migos and shit. Shout out to my boy Joe.
That's dope.
He does like work with like Offset and all that shit. But so like when did you graduate from?
So I graduated 2014. At the end of 2014, right before my grandma passed, she saw me walk.
Peace, yeah.
Shout out to her. But I will say this about art schools. If you want to go to an art school, do extensive research on the school, because the Art Institute, it got sued and it got shut down.
Right.
So we spent all of this money and we can't even use it on our resume. We can't even it's time wasted and all this type of stuff. But we got our loans refunded and everything like that.
For real?
Yeah, we got them refunded. But like the school wasn't even that. Like if it wasn't in you and you like wanted to take advantage of this shit, you was wasting your time. And if you didn't have good teachers, like usually you're just wasting your time.
That school, is that considered like a for-profit school?
I don't know.
Because my homegirl just got all her student loans forgiven, bro.
Really?
Yeah, because at least from what I heard, it was like the for-profit universities. It was some kind of legal thing.
Yeah.
They kind of there's some legislation where they can get rid of the loans now.
Yeah.
If you went to like a for-profit college, like DeVry. Well, yeah,
Maybe
like Full Sail is like that.
Yeah.
Full Sail is a for-profit college, but that's an art school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I remember what I was saying. My train of thought, right? So when I was going to school, I almost forgot. I actually started a club called Spark Theory Creative Network, right?
Dope.
And I was inspired by this book. I actually still have it downstairs in my library. It's called The Rise of the Creative Class.
Oh, I got that book too.
Richard Florida?
What?
Richard Florida?
Rise of the Creative Class.
Yes, bro. Yo, I read that shit in like 2009.
That put you on game.
Yeah. All right. So, all right.
Damn, that's fire.
You're on some real nigga shit right now. I bet.
Damn.
Yeah.
I got that shit, bro. I ain't lying.
When did you read that book?
I think between like 2016 and like 2019, I was like heavy on reading books and shit like that.
Yes.
So I think somewhere in between there, I read that and a couple of other books that kind of like helped me to this day.
That's crazy. Good thing I recall what I was talking about. Cause yeah, Rise of the Creative Class, Richard Florida. Yeah, man. So I read that book.
Yeah.
And it actually, I started like a whole fucking club like in college based off that shit, bro.
That's fire.
And at the time, it was kind of whatever. I was like 19, 20 at the time. But it was just like a bunch of different shit. I had like panel discussions.
Right.
The typical shit you do in college, like panel discussions, all kind of shit. I think I might have did some videos or whatever. But yeah, that's that, man. So what else? So you, after art school, you pretty much...
After art school, that's when I ran across America. I kind of, at that point I was just sitting down and I was thinking like, what am I going to do now? I had shot this film right after like my last year in college. And then I was wanting to shoot another film, but that didn't pan out because it just needed too much money. So I was like, let me put all of everything I'm good at into one. So running, filmmaking. So I was like, what can I do? How can I merge these things? So I was like, I'm going to run to Rock Hill. I was like, that ain't big enough.
Right.
And then I said, I'm going to run to Atlanta.
Right.
Now that's big, but it still ain't big enough.
Right.
I was like, all right, I think I had first said, what if somebody runs across America? And then I was like, who do I know that can run across America? And I was like, I don't know nobody, but I can do that shit. If I really wanted to, I can do that shit. So I was like, I just need to find somebody to come film. And my homie, Carlos White, he drove the support vehicle along the way. And, every 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, he would get out, film me running across. He filmed that whole shit. Shout out to him. 3 months straight. Shit was crazy.
But you really ran it by yourself, though.
So I didn't run the whole way. So it was a mix of like running and walking because like the amount of preparation I did still didn't even prepare me for how much that shit hurt. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like that first 2 weeks, bro, that shit
fucked up.
Hurt.
Shin splints.
Yes.
Stress fractures.
It felt like bruises all over your body, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
man, you need to go ahead and be a motherfucking Navy SEAL now, bro.
Navy SEAL, that's what I need.
You need to go enlist for buds. Yeah, they need some soldiers right now, for real, man.
Look, man, my mind, like, I'll break it down to you like this. This is how I break it down.
Yeah.
So it took 3 months to get across. So the first month, you're in pain. Unbelievable pain. Your body's getting used to it. Like, it's undescribable type of pain. Shit's crazy. But you get used to it. And then that second month, you feel like a fucking superhuman. Like you're definitely like, you feel like you can take over the world. Like I was running like 30 miles, 33 miles, 35 miles back to back. Like it wasn't nothing. That shit was crazy. But then the third month, you're still like in the best shape of your life, but it's more so like you're worn. Like ready for the shit to be done type of shit. No shit.
So plot out your ride again. You say you started in take it state by state.
So I went.
And give us some of the highlights along the way, man. That's story time on the podcast.
Okay.
Let's go.
So this is how it worked out. I decided I wanted to do it. And then I tried to get sponsors. I think I'll just tell you about one sponsor that I tried to get was Motel 6. Because they were like not like the Hilton. Stay there along the way. Like, they wasn't the Hilton, but they was still like, a hotel. Fuck it. Yeah. So what they made me do was they made me chart out every Motel 6 along the way. And then was like, no. We're not going to sponsor you.
Shout out to Motel 6. Oh, they didn't sponsor you?
No.
Oh, fuck them then. Never mind. I was about to give them an air horn.
Yeah, so we went through South Carolina. We ran to Atlanta. Then from Atlanta, I don't know exactly what the state order is, but it's like Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi.
Okay,
so we
kind of went around about them.
Yeah. So we went South Carolina, Atlanta, and then we went we went down to Atlanta, we went down and then we went up to Atlanta, and then we ran through those states back up to where the tip is in Mississippi, where Memphis is. But we didn't want to go through Memphis because it was like, it's hella dangerous out there. So we went right up under it, and then we just went straight across through, I think it's I-45 or something like that. Just straight across. And then
kept it to the daytime, right?
So, bro, that weather, bro, is fucking insane. I started at, I think the 1st of April. It was like April Fool's Day or something like that. Yeah. So it was raining here. Then when we got to fucking Oklahoma, or it was raining, thunderstorming when we got to Oklahoma, it was tornado winds.
What?
Tornado winds. When we got out to Arizona, I was running in like 108-degree weather. So I was like walking and shit too. But we had to switch up how I ran because we couldn't run in the middle of the day because it was just too fucking hot. So I had to run in the beginning. Then we would just sit, wait, and then run towards it.
Did you go through like Phoenix or like down around the bottom?
We through the top of Phoenix. I mean, Arizona.
Like
top
past
Arizona.
Flagstaff. Flagstaff's like not the top, but
we went through Flagstaff.
You did?
Yeah, so the top of Texas, right at the top of Texas, and then straight across.
Yeah. So my daughter's from Arizona.
Okay.
Actually, so I spent a lot of time. It's funny because I worked in Phoenix for a little bit, but she's actually from Yuma. You know where Yuma is? Yuma's like down near the border, close to Mexico.
So we were going to go that way. So
okay.
Here, you said you wanted a story.
Yeah.
You said you wanted a story.
Let's hear it.
So we were going to go that way, but something in my soul told me not to go that way just because I was just doing, like I said, a lot of research, and it's a lot more dangerous down there just because it's right. No, just the border that way, the border, because drugs, trafficking and stuff like that. Everybody's trying to get over the border.
Yeah.
Everything.
And if you're just running on the highway, even if it's just you and one other person.
Right. So there was another group of people who was doing this same thing, but they were coming from LA to, I think, Charlotte or whatever, but they were bike riding. Okay. But they didn't make it. Not because of like anything like a gang or anything like that, but they ended up getting hit by like an 18-wheeler while they were sleeping on the side of the road and shit like that.
Why would you sleep on the side of the road?
Right.
On their bikes on the ground?
No, I think they had a car too. They had like a car and everything, but I think while they were in their car, the 18-wheeler might have been going to sleep and then hit their whip and stuff like that. So like mid-run, like in the documentary, you can see it too. Like, we talk about that, but we heard that. And then my homie, he said like once, like he said he was like joking. Like he wasn't taking it serious. But then when that happened, he kind of got like serious about the whole trip. Like, cause it's us against the world, bro. Right. We saw everybody, all walks of life. It was miracles happening out there, bro. like literally, bro. Like we had no money. One point in time, we had no money. And my tire on the car was just about to go. So my friend, he had got out the car. He was about to go warm some noodles, and I just prayed to God. I was like, God, we ain't got no money. I just need your help right now. Please, if there's something you can do, help me. And I went to sleep. I could fall asleep on the dime because I was so tired. I went to sleep, and then I woke up. My homie, he came back. He's like, Adrian, I just ran into this guy. He bought us some food. And he said he's going to buy us a tire.
Oh, shit.
He's going to buy us a tire.
Yeah, shout out to that homie.
And that got us right, bro. Yeah. Like, whew, it was some different stuff.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody that helped. I'm sorry.
And all this is on film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you ended it in LA. That's where
ended it in LA. Another funny thing is like one of the people who donated, just through mutual friends, they're actually one of the execs on TDE. So like TDE is a label with Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q and other people like that. But so when we got to LA, they greeted us. Them and a running store greeted us. We ended it. I went to the Hollywood sign, but I kept running to the running store just because that's where the end was. So we had like a little meet and greet thing there, and then the guy H Wood, they had like a vegan spot in Watts in LA called Hamwich Shack at the time. So we ended there too, got burgers and all that shit. But yeah. So
you ended in LA. You got us all this on film. I'm sure you're in the perfect place to kind of promote it. I mean, did you edit all of it there, or what'd you do with the film afterwards?
Nah, so I just relaxed, bro. I think I slept. I think that's what it was. I just slept and kind of just soaked up LA because that was before I had moved out there. I soaked it up because then we had to drive back because we still had the car. So he drove majority of the way. I was sleeping.
What year is this again? 2020?
This is 2016.
2016. Okay.
2016.
8 years ago.
Yeah, type shit. And when we got back, I just rested, bro. I think in my mind, I was like, I just did this. I deserve like sleep. So I just rested. I edited it up. It's still a lot of footage that's not in the film because you got to think that's like 90 days of trying to just make like an hour-long film. So there's like a lot of footage that's unreleased. I was thinking about releasing it, but I don't know.
Bro, I feel like that's dope. I mean, are there like there are like groups and shit that do that kind of shit, right? Like Running Across America and stuff like that?
There is, but when I looked it up, there was just like, it was like under 100 people that have done it.
Right.
You know, out of like, I don't know how many, there's like hundreds of million people in America. You know what I'm saying? But the guy who had the #1 spot, he ran from Cali all the way to New York. And he did, so I did 20 to 30 miles a day. He did 90 miles a day.
Shit.
So that means he was running, how I had broke it down, he was running all day and I think had got like 4 hours of sleep or something like that. And every single day he did that. And what he did was he ran 5 miles and he walked 5 miles. And so now he has the record for, you know, fastest across America on foot.
So there has to be something you get, like some kind of club, or you get like a plaque or something that they send you.
I
you
wish.
Run Across America.
I wish.
Damn, bro.
I tried to get my shit on that Wikipedia list though.
Right. They put you on?
But no. Anybody can alter your Wikipedia, but I don't know how to do it. I couldn't figure it out. I tried to do it though.
Okay.
But I got a documentary. You gotta check that shit out. Runningforfilm.com. Y'all go check that shit out.
Word. All right. So you're in LA, and then you say you chill for a little bit, and then you start getting into nightlife. So tell me more about like some of the clubs that you worked with out there. Like, what's some of your experience?
Let me remember. Okay, so when I was in LA, these are the clubs that I kind of was involved with or I helped with. So let me see. Penthouse, which is a very upper echelon hip hop club. A lot of NBA athletes go there. A lot of celebs go there. They talk about it in their songs and shit like that.
Penthouse?
Too. Penthouse.
Okay.
You find some baddies at Penthouse. Find some fucking baddies. Penthouse. Argyle was another club, but it's closed now. Ballet is a popping club out there now, but that had just started kind of like while I was exiting LA. But I still got like, I helped it, you know, whatever. There was a whole bunch of different clubs, bro. Like a lot of them have shut down though now, and they're just in something else.
Yeah.
Turned into something else. But it's just so like interesting now that I look at it in hindsight. Just that how like accessible a lot of things were. Like if I was doing podcasting when I was doing that shit, bro, I had some lit shit.
Oh yeah.
I had some lit ass shit. Yeah, because my boss is like booking like A-list artists for the clubs and shit like that.
Right.
You know, because they have to sell out.
Right.
So like I remember one day, you know who Whack 100 is? So like I remember one day they were trying to book, it might have been, I think it was Blueface. It was either Blueface or The Game, one of them, because that's who Whack 100 manages. And they was scared to go give him the money because Whack 100, he had a reputation. You know, he's done did his whatever. Right. So in their eyes, they were like, am I really about to go meet up with this guy, give him like 3 bands in cash or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But in my head, I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go meet White 100. Right. This nigga putting people on. What are y'all talking about? I really, y'all having this discussion right now?
Right.
So then I ended up going with them and I met Whack 100 and everything. It was all cool. You know, I had got his number and everything like that. But they were scared for no reason, bro. It was just so funny to me, but it was just funny. A whole bunch of different shit. We had some time, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so how long did you do that for again?
It was like 2.5 years.
2.5
I spent
years?
out there 2.5 years. Yep.
Okay. And then you came back this way, North Carolina?
Came back. Was doing a podcasting thing.
So that's when you started?
Yeah, when I came back. So I came back for COVID, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to be in the house, outside, shooting interviews, doing all of that shit. Then I went back to LA, 2021, But LA, COVID in LA was fucked up.
Yeah.
Everybody had to stay in the house. So it wasn't a move. So then I came back 2022 and I've been here since, just trying to run shit up.
Right. Now, you said on your profiles that your podcast is mobile. So you've been taking it around to different cities. Yeah. Where have you been so far?
Man. Like, I'll just give you states. Cities is kind of too much. But states, we've been to South Carolina, we've been to North Carolina, we've been to Virginia, we've been to Tennessee, we've been to Texas, been to Florida, Cali, we've been to...
So you have taken your podcast out to LA? Yep. No, you have. Okay.
Yep. So 2020, I came back here and I was doing it. So then I was like, let me go to LA and try to do it. But COVID still had LA fucked up. So I have a storage unit out there where my desk and everything is still out there. So I'm gonna try to just go back and run shit up because I'm way more established now. Yeah.
So when you go out to these places, I mean, you kind of just do it anywhere on the spot, or do you kind of find studios? Do you utilize studios out there?
No. So like I said, I charge for interviews. So the whole game plan of how to make this profitable for me at the time, because, I ain't got no sponsorships, nobody's paying for me or anything like that. So this is the only way we're making money. So the whole game plan is, if I want to go to let's just say I wanted to go to fucking Oregon or Chicago. Let's just say Chicago.
Right.
I go to Instagram and I type in Chicago rap. Or Chicago music, Chicago hip hop as a hashtag. And then everybody who's rapping or doing music at that time, they're going to use that tag.
Right.
They're going to use that tag. So now I have all the rappers who are doing music. So all I do is I message them. Be like, look, I'm coming to us, Chicago or whatever it is. I'm charging $100 to do this interview. And, I line them up and I go out there. So then I do that for this city, that city, that city. And that's my tour.
That's a hell of a hustle, bro.
Yeah. But it sucks because I wouldn't recommend people doing that just because
I look some shady characters, I bet.
I mean, no, not even that. It's like because you're trying to create a brand. So yeah, cool. Shady characters. Everybody doesn't deserve to be on your podcast.
Right.
So if they're paying, $100 is kind of low.
Right.
So if they're paying to be in your podcast, you're giving them access to your brand. So then when you're going to try to get those A-listers and they see this guy on there,
right?
It's like, fuck, I'm not going on this shit because this guy's on there. Right. And it's not like you can take them down because they paid to be on there.
Yeah, okay.
So it can hurt you. It's double-edged sword. But, I've built my my fan base from the ground up from that. Person to person, go to these events, like I said, over 1,000 interviews. So even though it's a lot of I would say crappy interviews on there, I have a database of over 1,000 artists that I can reach out to for anything. If I want to launch merch, they're gonna go buy it. It's just like an artist. That's how I looked at my show. It's like an artist. Anything an artist can do, anything you can do with an artist, I can do with my show. I can take them on tour. I can get on music blogs. I look at interviews as features. So it's the game. Whatever you can do for an artist in music game, you can do for your podcast. Okay. Music podcast.
Okay, gotcha. So I watched the episode with Jules. That was a long form interview. I think that was an hour, maybe.
Something like that. I try to aim for that.
Right. And then some of your shorter ones. So how do you what's your philosophy on how you structure your interviews and how you come up with some of your segments?
Basically I tell a story. So in film, it's a 3 acts. So it's the beginning, middle, and the end, for lack of better terms. So that's how I structure my podcast. So the first part is the background. We break the ice. We talk about their background, how they came up, et cetera, et cetera. The middle part is them promoting their music or whatever they came for, their music, their business. They talk about whatever. We might talk about relevant events, what's going on in the world, whatever the case may be. And then the last part is kind of just more so outro, final words, et cetera, et cetera. But I have a segment to transition into each of those acts.
Gotcha. So the live stream, right? You did a 24-hour live stream.
Right.
So I think a theme I'm noticing with you is endurance, bro. Running across America, 24-hour live stream. So is this like a thing for you? Like, are you into like challenges, this particularly like endurance kind of sports?
Yeah, man. Wait to the next 5 years, bro. I got a bucket list. We need to do a marathon in the Sahara Desert. We need to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
I want to go run at the Great Wall of China. I want to go do a marathon at Antarctica.
Oh shit.
And then
Antarctica's gonna be crazy.
Right.
You're gonna need a huge support team for that.
Yeah.
To go to Antarctica, yeah.
There's a run. There's like a contest where people they sign up for. It's like $45,000. It's not that much. But this contest, they'll fly you to the 7 continents and it's all like one race basically.
Okay.
But it's all on 7 continents. And if you do 6 of the continents, you get like this big ass like award. But yeah, so I'll just do it.
Okay. And Antarctica would be like the last one?
I don't even know which one it is, but it's gonna be lit.
That's dope, bro. So with the 24-hour the stream, like talk to me more about that. Like
streaming's the
what's
wave.
The motivation behind that?
Streaming's the wave.
Streaming's better than just like normal podcasting? Like live streams.
Streaming is the wave. So like when we're talking about content like formats and stuff like that. So you can stream your podcast. So like we could be live right now streaming.
Right.
And if you had a camera crew, whatever, they could be switching, or you could just use one camera. I see lit podcasts just streaming with one camera, stuff like that. Or we can just edit it later. But now is like when we saw Instagram come into play, when we saw TikTok take over the game, when we saw Vine take over the game, like streaming is taking over the game right now. And I see it happening. I'm so deep into like YouTube and like content that's being put out on the internet. I see it happening in front of my eyes and I want to get into it more and more, but I'm kind of on the older side of things. So if I was still young, I wouldn't have as many like responsibilities and I could go heavy into that shit. But since I got responsibilities, I can't go as hard. But
kids?
I don't have kids. But still, I got like rent and I got like
all that shit,
car insurance and bills, so I have to find money and work and stuff like that. If I was in high school, I ain't gotta worry about none of that shit. And I can just grind. But look, bro, it is niggas making bags off of streaming, bro. Bags. This niggas making bags off of YouTube too. Yeah. But like streaming, it's gonna be ridiculous.
But what is it about streaming that makes it better though?
Because you can engage. Your audience is engaging with you in real time. Okay. So like right now while we're talking, we can have a TV screen up with people in the chat saying,
calling in and shit like that.
Hey, drink more tequila, or hey, they'll say about to run, or they ain't gotta call in. It's just in the chat. They're just typing and we can see it. And they can donate to you.
Okay.
They can donate to you. They can subscribe to you.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
And then, to take it up another level, you have these creators, these live streamers. We're live streaming right now. So if I was to do, let's just say I flipped this whole fucking table over and like I just did some wild shit. You have like clippers who will clip in real time, clip all your funny moments and post it on YouTube, post it on TikTok, post it on Instagram. So like while you're live, you're going viral over there on Twitter or some shit because it's some wild shit that just happened.
I got you.
It's like crazy. It's crazy.
Now for streaming to be worth it, I mean, either way, you're streaming whatever it is. I'm pretty sure you can clip it up, post it for replay later. But at least I would think, again, I'm new to this, so I probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I would think you would need some kind of like critical mass for it to really make a difference, right? Like when it comes to streaming, because if you don't have no followers, no subscribers, and you're streaming live, how are people gonna see you?
Well, they're going to see you just because you will clip it up and post it on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. But on Twitch itself, yes, it does. It's a grind. Like you got to put in hours. Not gonna lie. Like if you're not streaming for over 4 hours and you're not like taking the time to research like how are these guys blowing up, what's the key to success, how am I going to market this, et cetera, probably ain't for you,
right?
But I mean, people just find you though. Like it's people that blow up off like playing NBA 2K and they just
video games and shit.
They just amount an audience just because they're so good at it. They go see them go shit on another kid doing 1v1 and they'll get an audience.
Okay.
And so people like Aiden Ross or Kai Cenat, they use that momentum and they transition. Like you saw them bringing on Tory Lanez or, Soldier Boy or whoever, and they shit's out of here. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay. So what kind of content do you put in your live streams? And you use Twitch and Kick, both of them?
Twitch and Kick, yeah. So I like multi-stream.
So when you stream, it goes to both platforms at the same time?
Right.
Okay.
So the content I make, I do game a little bit, but it's more like IRL stuff. So I do stream at a desktop, and that's what the 24 hours was. So I'll plan out like a movie. I'll plan out the whole day. So like during this hour, we're gonna do a dating segment, blind dates. During this hour, we're going to do yoga. During this hour, I'm going to have this chef come in and I'm going to taste test. Right. During this hour, I'm going to have a stripper come in and we're going to do a strip-a-thon. Or during this hour, I'm going to go IRL, which is basically in real life. So it's basically where streamers, they'll stream, but you won't be at a desk. You'll just be streaming, you doing whatever you do, but like out in the open. So like in my last 24 hours, I got to meet Ruby Rose.
Saw that.
So during that specific 4-hour block, we switched from desktop to IRL and we went to the club and we're just live streaming this whole thing. So I'm trying to get in the club.
So you're live streaming on YouTube?
On Twitch.
On Twitch.
And Kick.
Okay. And Kick, okay.
And then I cut it up later and put it on YouTube.
Okay. So
you can stream to YouTube, but it's just restrictions and stuff.
Right, exactly. So I was going to ask about the strip-a-thon thing. Yeah. You could do something like that on Twitch and Kick.
On Twitch and Kick, yeah. There are limitations, so like the strippers can't be naked.
Right.
They can't be naked, but they can wear like, skimpy clothes or whatever case may be. But they can't be naked. They can't, obviously you can't do like sex on there or whatever the case may be, but like YouTube wouldn't allow none of that. Or playing music or anything like that. Twitch kind of is more lenient on that. And Kick, you can do whatever.
Okay. That's what's up. So, do you just like use a phone for that, like when you're doing it, or
for IRL streaming? Yes. For like,
do you have to use a phone?
You can use a camera. You can use a camera. Just more.
It's more equipment, connections, and shit.
Exactly. So like the phone, everything's on a phone. You connect it to the internet already. Everything's an app. So it's IRL streaming into phone. But if I'm at like a desk, it'll be like a camera.
Okay.
Webcam.
Gotcha.
Type of shit.
So you're definitely doing way more numbers from the streaming than like YouTube, Spotify. Like where do you get a lot of like your traffic from?
YouTube mainly. Instagram. Twitch is just depends on what I'm doing. Like if I have a lit person on there, the numbers will go up. But if I'm not, then it just depends. But it's all about building the community there. Okay. But YouTube.
Okay.
But we distribute everywhere. Like my audio's on Spotify and everything too.
Okay. Gotcha. So now that you're back here in Charlotte, you're starting the Vodcast Central. Want to talk a little bit about about that for the podcast?
Yeah. So Vodcast Central, it was conceptualized, back in 2015, 16, 17, something like that. But basically, after I got done running, my homie Steven, we just started, that's when we started doing podcasts. So I was producing his podcast while he was doing his sports show, whatever the case may be. And I wanted to do my show, but I was just, behind the scenes. So, we had came up with the term vodcast, which is more, it's more popular now, obviously. But the only other people who were using that term it was Twitch, I think. They had used that word. But so Vodcast Central is basically, it's ultimately going to be a streaming platform for a video podcast. And it's built right now. We're going to launch it at the beginning of next year. But it's for video podcasts. Because the only place people really post their video podcast is
YouTube, pretty much.
Yeah. Where else can you post?
That's pretty much it. You're right.
Yeah.
So this Vodcast Central, this is like going to be like a technology platform, pretty much, essentially, right? You got like developers and engineers that you're working with?
No, I'm building it. I built it already. Yeah. Because I've been studying distribution and stuff like that while I was in film school. So like while Netflix was like the only streaming service back then, I was trying to figure out how to do that shit. So then when right before COVID, I don't know if you remember this, but all of the like TV stations like BT, Warner Bros, Universal, they started launching their streaming platforms.
Right.
So you got BT Plus. You got, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I kind of missed the wave because
Right.
I had built this streaming platform called Video Blimp. And it was basically just a streaming service just for movies and shit like that. But I just wasn't pushing it. I just wasn't doing that with it.
When you say you built it, like you literally coded it? You know how to code?
So no.
Okay.
There's this thing called OTT. So like over the top,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
I've heard of that, but I don't really understand it that much.
So basically there's platforms, like technology has it's to the point now where you don't have to code anymore. So it's kind of like plug and go.
Gotcha.
So like everything's already made, but you just plug and you kind of customize it how you want it to do. And then the OTT is basically, it allows you to distribute. You build the platform, but now you can put your app on, like I can have my own Netflix and I can put it on Xbox. I can put it on the phones. I can put it on smart TVs. I can just do it myself though, instead of going to Netflix. So like Video Blimp, you can go on your TV and look at my app.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But OTT that's a technology, but is there like vendors that sell the technology? So who
It's not really selling. It's more so like just a service. This is like they're gatekeepers.
Okay.
They're gatekeepers. That's basically all it is.
Who are some of the ones you use?
Look, I can't tell you all that now. I can't tell you all that.
Can't get away the secret sauce.
But there's you can type it in online and a bunch will pop up.
Okay.
But I use a specific platform just because it's just better.
Gotcha. So I did do the research, right? And I saw the video that you made when you were promoting it, and you said that people who want to start like a new podcast, people who have a podcast, want to take it further. So I mean, aside from obviously just having a platform for them to put their stuff on,
Right?
Is there anything else?
I mean, you're getting knowledge,
right?
So there's more that you're getting, but ultimately you're getting knowledge. Because what I tend to see, because I've been there's so much that people don't know. It's ridiculous when it comes to podcasting. But it's just what I tend to see is a podcaster, they'll create their show, whether it's audio or video, and they just release the content and that's it. Just release the content and that's it. There's no like plan to either make it number one. And if it is, they just say, I'm going to make it number one. There's no plan on how to make it number one. They don't know what they need to do. They're not following the top 10 podcasts and seeing what they're doing to make their podcast blow or whatever the case may be. So I'm bringing that sort of knowledge, marketing abilities, and I'm adding it to whatever you got. So I'll analyze what you got going on. And by you being either exclusive to my platform or whatever, depends on what type of deal we work out, I'll help you take your podcast to the next level, essentially.
Without giving away the secret sauce, right? Because I'm pretty sure this is something like you're charging for, right? It's going to be a price on it on this platform. Okay. Without giving away, the advice for free, like what are some of the areas?
I'll give it away. What's up? What you want to know? I'll give it away. This is what it's for.
So if you're looking at a podcast, like for the first time, if you're trying to like diagnose what's going on, like what are some of the areas that you kind of look at and break down?
All right. First off, okay. There's hella platforms, but when we're talking about your podcast and we're talking about how you're going to be making money.
Right.
So you have your podcast. Let's just say the master file is your video podcast.
Right.
And everything, you can break it down from there. So you have your video podcast. Now you have your audio from your video podcast. It goes on your audio platforms. So you got audio distribution. Then you have your video podcast. It goes on the video platforms, which is YouTube or wherever else you figure out, but just mainly YouTube. And then you can even break that down to like TikTok, Instagram, wherever else, because those can be monetized nowadays.
Yep.
But there's a third. There's literary distribution. So you got your audio from your podcast, you have their video from your podcast, but those words can be converted into text.
Okay.
And so you can make money from that. This is what people not talking about. This is grade A podcast now.
I've never heard of this. Explain more.
Exactly.
You're dropping some gems right now, man.
So you have literary distribution. So this is basically like you do a podcast episode and you turn it into a blog. So basically, so now
these are things that I'm actually want to do.
yes, and many people probably would want to do it too, but they're not thinking about it. And it's not like their fault or anything. They ain't got the time really to think about it or don't do the research or whatever. Okay. But yeah, literary distribution. So like every episode you turn it into a blog, for example. So that's like literary. And you can make money off of blogs.
Okay.
You can make money.
For sure. When do you plan on launching it again?
At the top of the year. So what we're about to do,
January 2025.
Yep. We're about to do a huge crowdfunding campaign. I'm about to try to get a mobile podcast van. We're going to raise money for a mobile podcast van.
Build a studio out inside of it?
Yep. Studio inside of it. And then we want to travel across the nation, probably interview a bunch of people. Whoever donates to it, they're going to get access to it, interview it first. And then, we're going to, launch a streaming service, stuff like that.
That's lit. I fuck with that. That's super dope. So how much is it going to cost for someone to get on your platform?
So, we're doing the crowdfunding campaign. So like you could just, again, donate $100 and then you'll be one of the first ones to be on this. Oh, you're talking about the platform.
Yeah.
So like if they want to get on it, it's free. It's free, but we're working out deals. So like the whole thing is like the real choice, like we can generate money. Like that's not the issue. The whole thing is whether you want to be exclusive to our platform or not exclusive. Because some people are going to want to only be on YouTube, which is cool because they, want to get monetized, but they don't know how or how long it's actually going to take.
Right.
But when you come over to us, we can get monetized immediately. We can start making money immediately. And for you being exclusive to our platform, we help you with the marketing. We help you post. We help you with podcasting strategies and stuff like that that you might not be thinking about.
Okay. Well, shit, man, I'm definitely going to have to tap in because, for me, like when I created this podcast, the podcast really wasn't even the first idea. It was really the second idea, right? Because, like you, I'm also trying to build like a technology platform, but that's a little bit more related to nightlife, right? Because I have like my own experience in nightlife, and that's sort of like what my podcast serves. But when I created the podcast, it was really going to be a way to promote the platform.
Right.
But building a platform takes a long time.
It does.
Right. So I said, well, I can still have the podcast, right?
Right.
But I always consider myself like a businessman first, right? And that's really like the point I was making earlier, like where my roots are. It's like really entrepreneurship. So therefore, like I did go to school for like business and try to do all that. But even like amongst my hobbies and all that, like to the core, I'm an entrepreneur. But when it comes to the podcast, like I just try to like do my best, like make a plan, make it fit into the bigger picture, make good content. But when it comes to like all the ancillary stuff, like the editing, right? Yeah. I do everything myself right now. So I'm just a one-man team. I don't have like a team, but I am interested in like branching out, using resources like your platform, things like that. AI too, of course.
But yeah.
But even further than that, like, thumbnails, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in all that, man.
It's
so
crazy.
We definitely got to stay tapped in and plugged in, and I definitely, we'll fuck with your podcast platform.
We can blow that shit up.
Hell yeah,
we can
bro.
blow that shit up.
For
if
sure.
you want to go, we can go.
Okay.
We can go win.
We can
go win.
I'm with it.
Can go win for sure, bro. Like this is just definitely needed. Like I said, I think we're at a very unique time. What I've noticed over the years of just studying like distribution, like video tends to follow whatever audio does. So like, we had CDs and we had DVDs and then we had audio streaming services. Now we have video streaming services. So now we have audio podcasts, video podcasts. That shit's about to bust wide open, bro.
Yeah. And you got to have good audio though.
Yeah,
I hear it all the time.
Yeah,
audio has to be good.
Yeah.
It has to be better than the video at least, right? You can have like
just as good, because like, with film, like you can watch a film. You can watch a film if it looks terrible but has good audio, but you can't watch a film if it looks amazing and the audio is shit.
Exactly.
It's going to take you out of the whole experience. So yeah, your audio has to be good, understandable and stuff like that. Great conversations.
For sure, man. So before you get at it, because I know you're short on time, I just want to talk a little bit more about like your history in Charlotte, particularly about like the nightlife industry. We talked about my boy Concrete. Shout out to DJ Concrete. Had Silent Selections yesterday. Dope event.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I saw you have like a lot of relationships with like the DJs, promoters, and such. I saw you chopping it with people yesterday. So, what you got going on out here in terms of like nightlife and different things?
Again, like I'm not too much into nightlife out here, only just because it's different. Like when I was in LA, like the promoters, we get sections for free, we get bottles for free and stuff like that. You know, the girls, if we have beautiful women, they get in free.
Right.
Like that happens there, but they get in free and we get paid. You know, so it's just kind of different. Like out here, like yes, you're a promoter and you get all that, but like you're able to like out there, you're able to like build a team. You like, there's so many ways to make money. It's ridiculous.
There's just so much more money out there.
Yeah,
the money, the velocity of money is higher out there.
Exactly.
There's more people.
Exactly.
People have more money and they spend more.
Exactly.
Faster. People come in. A lot of transient people. I'm here for today. That's it. A weekend. Everybody wants to be in LA, yo.
And there's money here too. It's just in different areas and different things, like banking.
Right. Yeah.
Man, we got tech and stuff too, but
okay,
just different things. I mean, I think right now, what I would love to see is more as far as like on the music scene of things, not even like nightlife, clubbing or anything, just more of an infrastructure type of thing. Like we need more labels out here that like know how to blow an artist, not just like one. Like South Coast. That's just one. We need like 5 more of those. We need like agency.
Is that a North Carolina label?
Yeah. South Coast Music Group, that's the Baby signed to that label. Tusi signed to that label. Tia Corinne signed to that label. And a bunch of other artists. But Black Zach signed to that label.
Okay.
So like they're the only like legit label out here like really doing it in North Carolina and South Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Now, have you ever thought about doing some with music yourself? Either producing. I mean, you're kind of already artistically inclined.
Yeah, I was doing no. I ain't doing none of that. Yeah, I've been asked to like manage artists hella times, but that's like not in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm doing my own thing, like I wouldn't. It takes a lot of sacrifice to manage artists,
right?
And so I advise artists. So like I consult with them. If they have questions, I'll advise them like, hey, you should do this instead of this, or hey, have you thought about this instead of this? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna like give up my whole day to make sure you blow, because you might not blow.
Okay, I feel you.
And that'll be a waste.
So just the podcast, everything you got going on,
taking the podcast to the next level. That's next level. The main goal. Yeah.
So you want to be a media icon? Right?
Yes, want to be a media icon, man.
Do you have like some folks that sort of look up to, inspirations like out there in the industry? That you kind of take direction from, whatever.
I like what Ray J is doing. I like Ray J, like Master P, like Dame Dash when they were all on their like movies, like all that independent grind and shit like that. I love that. I love what Revolt's doing, and stuff like that. It's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, that's it, bro. All right, man. Well, I guess that's it, bro. I know you got to scram.
Yeah,
we were short on time, but yo, Adrian Nyce, Mouthin Out podcast. Appreciate you coming through, bro. First official collab podcast, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, Adrian Nyce, Malvin Out, and we out. Peace.
Hey, give everybody your Instagram and your social media real quick so they can know where to find you.
So Malvin Out is MOUTHIN podcast, or Malvin Out podcast, and Adrian Nyce, ADRIANNYCE with a Y not an I. Adrian Nyce.
Word. Appreciate you coming through, man.
Yes, thank you.
All right, that's a wrap, everybody. Episode 9. Join us next time. Make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.
Yeah.